What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Winners Lounge. Showtime. It is showtime, fellas. Look at this brand new shirt. Look at this work of art.
That thing is a beaut.
It's a great shirt, Eric.
Well, thanks, guys.
Very good job.
I went to Fiverr.com and I got.
Is that right? You had somebody design it?
Yeah.
That's great. Look at that. Showtime, the beautiful Rocky Mountain skyline. Sunset. A nice, beautiful sunset.
The beautiful silhouette. That could be anybody. It could be.
What is more beautiful, the Colorado sunset over the Rockies or Michael Porter Jr.'s jump shot?
The Colorado sunset.
Yeah. The Colorado sunset definitely like way more universal.
No way.
Freaking beautiful, man.
Let me say this. Michael Porter's jump shot brings me so much happiness. Way more than a sunset. A sunset's calming. Michael Porter Jr. is like
They're
euphoria.
Both amazing. They're both great.
One can't get turned off though. That's
true.
One is just always on.
It is.
You know,
I honestly don't know which one you're
you know
talking
you're going to
about.
get both every day.
You know you're going to get both.
Usually once a day.
I mean, my goodness, I can't wait. We're going to talk about Michael Porter here in just mere moments. First, got to remind you that today's show, and it's all Winners Lounges, are brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR and follow my instructions. I have taken over Dev as the guy you should listen to for all of your betting advice. Dev, pretty good. Sometimes better than others, but so he's pretty good. Myself, on the other hand, I give you nothing but stone cold locks. Stone cold locks.
Do you want some
you want to explain yourself?
to explain yourself, Dev?
What I'm going to need is a ride. A ride home.
Right. Oh, yeah, his car. He said to bet the car. Wow, he's going to need a new car. All right, I got Harrison Wind in the lounge.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here in the lounge.
Wow. Bringing the energy.
Yeah. I do have to say about this shirt, though. I know I said vibes are immaculate. It was my favorite shirt that that D-line has put out.
The late
Eric.
I was going to say, Harrison's going to kill me.
This is my new favorite shirt that D-line has put out. That thing is fire, man. It's straight heat.
Listen, I try to do a different style in every single shirt that I do, so that if somebody sees one and they think it sucks, maybe they think the next one's good because it's a different style.
Well, there you go. This one, it's got some beach shop vibe. Like it's like a surf shirt.
Well, this is like super 80s style, super 80s 90s.
Have we done a black? It's a black shirt.
It's a black shirt.
Have we done a black nugget shirt?
No. We did the black Die Hard.
Right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, that just it is that. When you're a man like me, you have to rely on as many contextual clues as possible because for reasons that I won't get into, I can't say names of teams or players. Yeah. So I need to make
it sucks because every other sport, they're like, yeah, do it. And then in the NBA, they're like, yeah.
Like if I just got to make a shirt and I could just draw a guy, first off, the shirts would be awesome. But
yeah, they would be awesome.
I can't do it, so I need to be clever, and I need to go back to the 80s. I need to get the DeLorean up to 88. And then
this is like in Kobe Bryant's courtside 96. I referenced this more than any other video game. Jordan is
it's like Ken Griffey Jr. 95 or whatever that game was.
Well, Michael Jordan is number 98. There's just no Michael Jordan. It's like everybody has a name except for number 98, and he's the best player. It's like, all right, we can't say his name. Over here, I got Kill Bill, a.k.a. Superstar Dev.
Somebody else brought it up, but I don't know if it was just me. We do look high def on this. It looks good. It looks good.
You two together, you're saying?
Design.
It might be the picture. It might be the picture of the shirt or something that's bringing out my strong attributes.
You guys look like a hip hop duo, like Run the Jewels or something.
Yeah. Me especially.
Yeah. he would be like he would have an instrument.
Yeah, an instrument like he's playing
some sort.
Like a violin.
Like I'd have like with a keytar.
And I'd have the talent, I guess.
So guys, you can buy the shirt right now, DNVRLocker.com. Is it the DNVR Locker? DNVR Locker.
The DNVR Locker.
DNVR.
Yeah, or you can just click on the link.
Or DNVR Locker. We actually have both.
Yeah, we do have both. I guess I don't know why I asked. You can buy all of our merch there, guys. We got all kinds of cool stuff there across all sports teams.
I also have 3 more shirts.
When?
I don't know. I don't know how to do
You
this.
wait for the right moment.
I do. I wait for the right moment.
There's only 3 games left. So.
Yeah.
There's
I will say that a lot of people in the,
has a big.
there's a lot of people in the
scoring
chat.
game
There's a lot of
next
people in the chat asking for a specific player.
Is it
maybe-
Shaq Harrison, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
Marcus
They
Howard.
it's Marcus
JaVale.
Howard.
It's Marcus
JaVale.
They
Howard.
want the
He
JaVale
has to
shirt.
have a shirt.
Wow. Oh, that's a great point,
Thank you,
Michaela.
Michaela.
It's also, you guys are thinking about buying the shirt, just sign up for a membership. You get the membership, then the shirt's free. And it's basically the same price, so it's the best way to do it. Then
You're
you
going
get
to buy the shirt anyway. You might as well get the membership with it.
Then you get access to the list. You get access to all of our written content. Vote does the grades. There's all kinds of good stuff. And again, more behind the paywall than you realize. And access to the DNVR Discord. Tons of stuff. Guys, the Nuggets, 117-112. They bounce back. A little 2-game losing streak. They bounce back against the Charlotte Hornets. Bounce back, maybe not quite appropriate. I'm not going to lie. This game mirrors a lot of the games recently. Brooklyn, the Knicks, even the Utah Jazz. Denver, up huge in the first quarter. Then fall apart and squeak one out. Are you impressed with this game? Are you feeling good about it? What's your takeaway after watching this game?
I'm not impressed with it, no. But the big positive, there were a couple of big positives. One of them was on the pregame show, I said I wanted to see the Nuggets win a close game. I feel like this qualifies as a close game. It was a 2-point game with a couple minutes left. So I think you can say it was a close game. The other part of what I wanted to see was Michael Porter Jr. have a big fourth quarter. That did not happen, although he had a big first half. So I'm not impressed. But they did win a close game. They didn't blow it down the stretch.
Here's the thing about a close game. It wasn't a close game. It was Denver was up 15 points and fumbled it to make it a close game and then eked it out. I mean, it doesn't feel like Denver had to really dig deep to win this one. It was that they really had to trip hard.
They just had to not blow it.
Yeah. They tripped down all but one step.
Yeah.
If this was a game that meant anything, the Nuggets would have won this game by 35 points going away. They put in the weirdest. I mean, they were up by 21 after the first quarter.
Yeah.
Then they put in the single strangest combination of players that they could cobble together. They were playing just rolling dice, and then
I looked down the third quarter, and then I looked up, and Shaq Harrison, Facu, and Marcus Howard were on the floor together.
Yeah, that was a weird lineup.
It's wait, how'd that happen?
with Jermichael Green and Dad.
Yeah.
It was really
I
weird.
look down, look up, and I see those three on the floor.
And so it was close, but it was close because that unit was as bad as the first starting unit was good to start the game. So they coughed up that lead, and it was a fake imaginary lineup. So it's you can't even really draw anything from it. It just was whatever. We're in purgatory here. We just can't wait for the playoffs to start, but we have to play a game. So get on out there.
Yeah.
Mini lads, or what is that even the mini lads? That was
It's even minier than the mini lads.
The mini lads has evolved so many times.
Yeah.
There's been so many iterations.
The diminutive dudes.
Dev, are you feeling good about this win? Is it a feel-good win?
I wouldn't call it a feel-good win, but they finished the game. They were still healthy. Also, the positive or the thing to look at in this game and pretty much all of the games lately is the Nuggets have had the 2 best players on the court every single time. That's just what has been happening. You have Michael Porter Jr. go out and have a big game. You have Jokic, who's the MVP, have another big game. They're still trying to figure out ways to try to get other people involved. But it was good to see Aaron Gordon get involved or JaMychal Green to score the basketball. So, things were answered that we had in pregame. Aaron Gordon, someone else stepping up, close game wins. A lot of things were answered. But that's not a game that you're super excited about.
Yeah. I kind of feel much the same way, but there's still 3 games left for them to kind of get check some of the boxes. One thing, though, that was encouraging and remains encouraging about this game, Michael Porter's jumper, 6 of 10 from threes. Do you remember a couple games back when he had the back-to-back games with 6 threes, and we talked about what a big deal it was and how rare it was in Nuggets history? Now he's got a third one with 6 threes, and to be honest with you, that was mostly in one half. He kind of went away in the second half, which is concerning, but here's the thing. When I watched Michael Porter, I remember Jamal Murray's sophomore season. I remember Nikola Jokic's sophomore season. Jokic's sophomore season was great, by the way. You saw then how good he was, and it made you daydream about what he can become, and he's done it. Same with Jamal Murray. But Porter, you look at this and you go, a guy that can make 6 threes multiple times, when he's not even a guy that fully has the green. He has mostly a green light. I look at him and I go, the next evolution of him, like the year from now, 2 years from now, I really don't know what it is. 6 threes, maybe it's 10 threes on the regular, not every night, but I'm saying it's not a thing that you even blink at.
MP Clay, dude. MP Clay.
His shot is incredible. I'm telling you, Michael Porter Jr.'s shot is as perfect looking as just about anyone in the NBA, if not anyone.
Yeah, I tweeted in the first half that he arguably has the best shot in the NBA, and I quickly amended that to say behind Steph Curry because I think Steph Curry's still the best shooter. That might have been the Breck Distillery tasting that we had this afternoon. Still
before the game, we all drank like 20 mini shots.
Yeah, but he is arguably the best shooter in the league behind Steph Curry. And the crazy thing is, a lot of people always get at me and say, "Oh, if he was not on a team with Nikola Jokic, he wouldn't be this good of a shooter." And yeah, he gets a lot of really good looks off of Nikola Jokic passes, but he also hits a lot of threes that are contested.
Can I tell you something that might blow your mind?
Yeah.
This is as of like 2 games ago, so it might have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
More efficiency, higher volume without Jokic on the court than with him on the court.
So there you go. He's absolutely like an elite shooter. And the kid's a star. I mean, the kid is a star. We've seen it since Jamal Murray's gone down. I'm like you. It's scary thinking about, not for me, for the rest of the NBA, it's scary to think about what this kid's going to be in a year or two because I can't really wrap my head around it.
When I talk about him, when I say a year or 2 from now, here's the biggest thing because he's going to add a handle. He's going to add some more defense. He's going to get stronger, hopefully stronger hands. But the number one thing that's going to change for him is right now he's still thinking the game. And he's still wondering if he's allowed to shoot or not, or not even allowed, just should I? Like what's a good shot, what's not? You know, watch Jamal Murray play, watch Jokic play. Those guys, it's internalized now. They don't have to think about it. They are never thinking when they're on the court. It's just reactive. And Michael Porter right now is like 50% there. I think it'll take a year or 2 more for him to fully get there, but he seems to always make, I don't know what the numbers say, but my internal calculation, he is shooting 100% on shots he doesn't have to think about.
Hold on, let me do a quick. No, that checks out.
And I can't wait till 100% of his shots are shots he doesn't have to think about.
Yeah.
So you're going to shoot 100% in this
He
league?
might shoot 100% from 3.
I think a lot of it is a battle of Malone, like first off, like pulling him back, like, hey, you can't take those type of shots. And now him being the offense, you're the guy that we have to go through, and we need you to shoot the ball. And I think there's a battle at times, and that's when you see like times that he jumps and then passes it and then tries to cut or things like that. Like he's trying to cut, and I just think that there's like a battle within himself of when do I take shots or not? Because right now, this was a game that we say that he didn't. Like there was a time that he was not taking shots. That second half, he did not take a lot of shots. But he still leads the team in field goal attempts because he was so hot in the first half.
Yeah.
But that's a teaching moment where you say, you're our guy tonight. You're the guy that's making everything. You're efficient. You're playing within the offense. You also have the hot hand. Take as many shots as you can. Like this was a game that Michael Porter Jr. should have took about 29 shots in, honestly, because he had it going in the first half, and you ride the hot hand.
And I want to see it. I want to see what tonight would have looked like if he had 5 or 6 more shots. Would they have been a little forced? Yes, but he's 12 of 18. And let's be honest, I felt good if he took a 4th shot. Not a bad, like, off the dribble or whatever, but just off of a handoff, go right into it. See what happens.
He does that. Like, he takes shots that are not good shots, but they're good shots because he takes them
Totally.
and he makes them. It is so weird how he comes out so passive in the second half. I don't understand it. I can't figure out if it's a schematic thing, if it is intentional, if it is just like he comes in and puts his foot on the gas so hard that he just has to like take a break, bro, or something. Like he's in his refractory period in the second half or something. But it's strange. Like I'd love to see him just come out with that ferocity and intensity that he comes out to start the game with the entire game. He'd score 50 points a game.
It is wild how we've seen that first quarter from him so many times this year, I feel like.
Especially recently. I feel like he's averaging 15 points per
and then the
quarter.
second half comes, he's like,
I wonder what it is. I'm sure it's a combination of all those things you just said. But I want to see it. Like you said, I just want to see it where he's that guy for the entire game because he took 10 threes tonight. It wasn't nearly enough. He could have taken 15 threes tonight. And I kind of want to see one of those games where he does. And, I just want to see it.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, the gravity with him is so real. I mean, he's going to have the most gravity on the team by far of anyone because of how tall he is, because of how high he jumps, how quickly he gets that shot off. And I do think there's something to him leaning in a little bit more towards shooting it because guys, there was a couple plays tonight where he would shot fake and guys wouldn't jump for it. You want to get to the point where if you're coming off a pin down and you shot fake, guys have to jump because it's like if I don't jump, he just scores it. Yeah. So you want him to get even more to that spot. And when you do bring back a Jamal Murray, when you do start to fill in with Monte Morris and Will Barton and other guys, or maybe next year's different guys that can shoot the three, you start running him off of screens and it bends the defense so hard that all of a sudden all these other guys are wide open. And we'll get there. What we're talking about right now is a guy who is a work in progress, but already fantastic. And on some nights, as good as any scorer in the NBA for pockets.
So he had the huge first half, Porter did, and then the third quarter goes silent. Denver still scored 28 points in the third quarter.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing you got to think about. It's not like the offense totally died when Porter didn't get his same looks. They still scored 28 points. Now, what you run into is if he doesn't get the ball the entire third quarter and then you find yourself in a close game in the fourth, then he's not in that same rhythm, which almost bit the Nuggets in the butt tonight. But they survived.
I'd like to see a little bit more Jokic, MPJ, two-man too. I mean, as the game got down to the stretch, they weren't really going to. I thought he got even more silent towards the end of the game. And if he was found on a kick out or whatever, a cut, okay, was there. But I just want to see, like, give him the ball and run a pick and roll. See what happens.
I want Michael Porter Jr. to go straight fucking killer mode. Like the whole game, like Steph Curry does to us.
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes like Anthony Davis will do. It's just like a steady diet of unrelenting shots where the other team's like, oh, we're not going to win.
He's just thinking it. I mean, this is what it is.
Why is he not thinking it in the first?
Well, because in the first you got so much time. You know, you're on a roll. This
you're
or
able
that.
to make up for it.
When the game gets tight, I mean, part of the story here is the first unit blows the doors off. I think they were the plus 18 before they checked out. Second unit coughed that up almost immediately, and now you have a game. And I just think it's more of a like, hey, let's solve this together. And it's good. I'm glad he has this. I'm glad you're trying to push him more to the aggressive part.
You're glad you're not going the other way. Yeah.
Imagine this 2 years ago. If you were saying like, all right, let's fast forward 18 months. What's it like? It's like, well, Michael Porter makes every shot he takes, but we can't get him to take a lot. And you're like, what? I don't understand. You're like, hold on. No. He's like hyper efficient, like one of the most efficient players ever.
He's actually Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
but 6'10".
Yeah.
It's the ball conundrum.
Yeah, what's that?
In that
the ball is this transitioning to a Manscaped read? I don't know.
The ball conundrum in that you want to feel your freshest at all times. No, in that the ball children you think are going to be bombastic. They're all quiet. Michael Porter Jr., you think you need to quiet him down. It turns out you need to ramp him up. How is this possible?
Yeah. One of the things you talked about was Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. trying to find some type of cohesion or just get something going. I feel like they tried to do it in the second half, and then a couple of turnovers came, and it just threw him off of his entire game, and then that's when they just could not find any type of connection. I think he got a little bit down on himself after.
Yeah,
and he was
agree.
Okay, now I'm going to like be a little bit more passive, or I'm going to try to make up for those mistakes in different ways. When Jokic just wants you to play the right way. If that means score the ball, but I think when those mistakes happened, it was just like, okay, I'm just going to just stay back now.
Yeah, that's a great observation because I saw that too. And then there was that play late in the fourth where MPJ wasn't on the court and JaMychal Green and Aaron Gordon were at the 3-4. And JaMychal Green had that great pass to Jokic from the elbow, hit Jokic in the post, and Jokic had that turnaround layup. And I turned to Devin, I was like, I don't know if MPJ makes that pass. Like, that might be a turnover.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's funny because I feel like we're almost being down on MPJ right now. And
lousy MPJ.
No, like it's weird. Like we're critiquing the part, but the truth is, like this guy's talent is so insane. His growth is so insane, and his jumper is. There's few things I have more confidence in than Michael Porter shooting a three right now. When he shoots a three, I just like immediately get all excited and ready.
What is the thing in life you have more confidence in than a Michael Porter jump shot?
A Jokic touchdown pass.
Me too.
Let's hit King of the Game. Let's get King of the Game. We might have. Look, this could have gone to Jokic or Porter very easily. 30 points. Team high game high plus 23. Very meaningful. And let's be honest, we dropped the shirt. We're not gonna not choose Porter out of night. We dropped the Porter shirt. So King of the Game. Showtime. Look at that beautiful thing. Let's hit an ad break. You can even maybe just lead that up, man. I mean, look at that. Buy it right now on the merch store. We'll hit an ad break. On the other side, we will talk about Jokic's night. We'll talk about Aaron Gordon's night, who I thought was very encouraging. And we'll talk about Monte Morris, the return of Mr. Nugget.
Yeah, guys, pick up some Mile High City Copper Lager from Breck Brew. You can get it at your local liquor store. You can get it at the Breck Brew Farmhouse. If you've never been out there in beautiful Denver, Colorado, it's an awesome spot. Tons of stuff to do out there. Great food, great drink. And you can get some Mile High City Copper Lager there. You can get it at your local liquor store. You can't miss it in that Nuggets Skyline blue can. We drink it a lot during games. Great beer to sip on the side while watching a Nuggets victory. Also, make sure to go to Gabby.com/DNVR. Gabby.com/DNVR. Gabby stands for Get a Better Insurance, and they're helping customers save an average of $961 per year on their insurance. What you do, you go to Gabby.com/DNVR, put in all your insurance info, car insurance, home insurance. They'll run your numbers against 40 of the top providers and tell you where you're wasting money and where you can save a lot of money if you switch your insurance to this, if you change up that. So check them out. A lot of us here at DNVR are using it and saving a lot of money. So go to Gabby.com/DNVR, Gabby.com/DNVR. It stands for Get a Better Insurance. That's exactly what they help you do. Gabby.com/DNVR.
Alrighty, so back here, DNVR Nuggets podcast. Don't forget, guys, we are also a podcast on off days. So if you enjoy the show, you enjoy our conversations, subscribe to podcasts right on your phone. If you missed the lounge, you can listen to it on your phone while you're driving, whatever.
Yeah, what do you have to lose?
You know what I did when I woke up this morning, you guys?
What's
First
that?
thing, listen to Harrison and D-Line breaking down some Nuggets talk. It was great. Still laying in bed. It was great. It was good stuff.
He looked away when he said that.
Then I got the hype. It was great. It was great. It was great. It was fine. It was fine. It was fine.
It was a podcast.
It was a podcast.
It was listenable.
I got through most of it. I mean, I did. I listened to most of it, so it was really good. No, it was great stuff. Let's move it on now to Nikola Jokic, guys. It's a weird one from him. 30 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, but none of that sticks out to me. What sticks out to me, 16 of 17 from the free throw line. Dev, is he getting MVP calls? Has his star risen? Or do you feel like he is learning how to draw fouls? Because his free throw shooting, his numbers have gone up over the last 10 games or so.
Yeah,
I'll say he's actually learning how to draw fouls. I think he's
strong
being
agree.
a lot more aggressive, and he's also forcing guys to foul him. Like I could tell that he's starting to read what the other guys were doing, and he's like, why can't I do that? So now maybe he's watching film on those guys. But you could actually see him hunting guys out and understanding this is what I have to do to get to the foul line. And you could tell just by the confidence when he gets fouled, he just walks straight to the free throw line. Like, there's no guessing about it. I feel like early on he used to try to shy away from those type of moments or just score in a more finesse way. Now he's like, you know, I'm big as hell. I can do whatever I want.
Do you guys notice how huge I am?
Yeah, I could do both. I could do a little bit of both. I'm finesse, and also I'm going to get to the free throw line.
I think he has the Andre the Giant syndrome where he's still growing, because seeing him next to Zeller tonight, Zeller is a 7-footer. He's a tall guy. He looked tiny next to Jokic. Jokic just dwarfs him.
It's so true. Did you ever watch that Andre the Giant special on
30 for 30? Yeah, I did.
How he had to fly coach across like the whole world. I really felt bad for him. I hope Jokic doesn't have that same affliction.
I don't think he'll have to fly coach.
I don't think so.
I don't think he'll have to fly coach either. He probably won't just have to fly commercial, really. Do you think he's learning how to draw fouls?
I think that there are two things at play. I think he is playing for contact, but I don't think that's new, but I think he's like upping the intensity. But I do think that people are starting to acknowledge that he is the MVP of this league and actually blowing the whistle when he's getting slapped and swatted and his arms are getting clawed on the back and all of these things that we watch Jokic endure and, you know, complain about. People think that he is, you know, he complains a lot like Luka, but like really he just never, to this point, I guess, has gotten calls. Like, he just gets beat up because he is so goddamn big. People can't move him, so they just allow him to chop at Jokic because they can't even really make a dent. But it seems, 17. Those are Embiidian numbers.
I think it's a career high.
So I think it is as well. And he had 10 games this season with 10 free throws or more. 4 of them have come since April 26th. So basically the last 2 weeks.
I just want to call it really quick. Scott Carpenter sent us a super chat sticker, and the text said a hamburger. That's what it is. It's a hamburger.
A hamburger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a little
There it is.
cheeseburger.
A hamburger.
A cheeseburger, baby. Yeah, heading out cheeseburgers here. Him and Jokic both doing that. You missed the stat, though.
I know, I'm sorry.
He had 10 games this year with 10 free throws or more. 4 of them have come in the last, let's see here, 8 games. So to me, that's like if there was a slope, you'd be like, oh, for sure, he is starting to get more. And in the games where he wasn't shooting them, 8 free throws, 9 free throws. So a lot of these games, he's getting 8+ free throws, which is well above his average. I do think there's something to it. I do think he is learning. I think he went through a period of frustration. I wonder if Michael Malone and him had to sit down, or anybody on the coaching staff, and said, hey, here's how you do it. Like, you're making great moves sometimes. And look, a funny thing to think about as well, Jokic is a super hyper efficient scorer off of just making them. Hasn't been the last, especially tonight, he shoots below 50%. But I wonder if it is hard to balance finesse with drawing fouls, and maybe he's still figuring that out. I don't know.
One quick point that was made: 4 of those were techs.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
So that pads the number.
Oh, so he really only had 13, which is still an enormous
still not quite Embiidian, but it's quite a few. For
Do you
him.
think they just pop on a tape of Joel Embiid and they're like, "This is how you draw fouls. This is how you draw shooting fouls"?
Well, do you think I wonder if it'd be a great question that he would never answer on the regulars. This is a question you ask in the locker room after the scrum
just
ends.
to the side, yeah.
Just like, do you ever watch guys in the NBA and how they draw fouls and maybe try to still cover? Because I wonder if he does.
I gotta think most of it is that. I do think some of it is just him getting more respect, though.
Yeah.
As the season has gone on, and I mean, I don't want to take too much credit for this. We don't want to take too much credit, but we've been pushing the narrative that he doesn't get the respect he deserves from officials, and I've got to think as the season winds to a close, that's just kind of more present on people's minds.
We have put out quite a few podcasts with that very message. I would think most of the referees in the NBA listen to this podcast.
I give myself personally less than 1/1,000,000%
Oh, okay. Well, that's
credit for this.
I mean, that's good. You're modest.
Yeah, I mean, it's greater than zero. That's greater than zero.
yeah. I mean, even though that you just totally inflated that number on your behalf, like
True. One thing I will say, Yoke down the stretch missed a couple bunnies, and it's just been a couple games in a row. I would love to see that Yoke we know and love where he goes like 7 for 7 in the fourth. Just one of those. But you know what? It happens. He's still great. 30 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists.
he's still the best player in the goddamn league.
The other guy I want to talk about next is Aaron Gordon, who had a very interesting night. First of all, he comes back from a rest from a couple days off. Actually, I think he had 5 or 6 days off total. He goes 8 of 14 from the field for 17 points. He even makes a 3. He goes 1 of 2 from 3. 3 assists, 2 steals, 6 rebounds, so kind of fills it up. Eric, what did you see from Aaron Gordon tonight?
I saw one moment of absolute rejuvenation.
The dunk?
Where he yammed it so hard, and I was like, 50! And then I saw him miss a dunk when I was like, more on Dwayne Wade's side on that one. Maybe I'll give him a 5 or a 3. But overall, like, he looked a little bit better. There is the running theory as we're watching the game that he is laboring more than maybe we have given him credit, or maybe has been obvious. Like, he's just like hurting, like maybe the ankle is, or whatever is giving a little trouble. But like, he has really not been good offensively of late. And today he was like okay offensively, which is a massive upgrade.
Yeah.
It was great to see the athleticism come back. Like that dunk that he had, I just don't feel like we've had many of those type of plays at all.
Weirdest dunk, by the way.
It was.
It looked like he was going to lay it up underhand and then just turned his, like, somehow got above the rim and dunked. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Steps were off and everything, but like that's the athleticism that you need from him. But that's a huge game from Aaron Gordon, especially from a confidence standpoint, to be going through like offensive like just downfall to like start closing out the season, like, because right now that was like probably like their most meaningful game remaining in the season, where he has to like grade himself on before he probably sits it down into the playoffs so that he could get back healthy. So that was like just good for him to like see the ball go in and to see himself in the offense and just try to get something going, especially on a night that they didn't need him defensively, like to be a part of the offense. That's big. Yeah,
I liked what he did because I felt like he got a lot within the flow. And He had that one post up, I think it was in the first quarter, where they just give him the ball in the post, totally clear out that side of the floor, and he missed. I'm just like, why? Like, why does Aaron Gordon ever get just an ISO post up? That's not a good use of a Nuggets possession.
No.
But aside from that, I felt like he got everything within the flow of the offense. And it's almost like I didn't really notice him too much until he was putting the ball in the basket, dunking or laying it in. And I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I liked what he did offensively.
The one thing, quickly, like the one thing that was frustrating to me is that he finally found himself in an action that you called out where he is in the dunker spot. We're always like, man, put it.
This was one of his misses.
We're like, always put him in the dunker, like, of course. And then he's in the dunker, he gets the ball and like just has it slapped away, fumbles it. We're like, you know what? I don't know. Just like, I don't know what the answer
on
is.
that play.
Jokic was really pissed because that was a play that you're talking about where it became clear 3, 4, 5 seconds before. It's like, okay, this is going to be a Gordon dunk.
Yep.
Can't wait for it. Play
And that's exactly the type of basket you want him getting.
100%. And he somehow just goes up and gets blocked. And you're like, bro, Kenneth Faried used to love those where it was like you have just enough on him that if they try to contest, you get to yam it on him. And it's like, yeah, he just didn't go. He doesn't go up. Kenneth Faried went up like he was trying to dunk on someone, no matter if somebody was there or not.
Because he was.
And like sometimes Gordon goes up like he's trying to like gently not touch the rim with his fingers or something, you know.
35
But
tops.
what's that?
Hit the dunk score.
No, dunk score. But again, we're like complaining about people because we want a blowout.
I know.
We're the Smugget fans
Dude, the
now.
Smuggets are back. The Smuggets are back in the worst way.
Yeah, the worst way.
We just bring the negative.
Well, here's
energy
what's funny.
now.
So we're talking
We're
about him as if
entitled.
like, oh, how did he miss this dunk? 17 points, tis his second highest as a Nugget. He had 24 against Orlando. He had 17 against Golden State in a giant loss. This second highest score. That's kind of wild.
Well, if you look at his shot chart, he took 2 shots, I guess 3 shots outside the paint the whole night. I think one of them was that post-up possession I talked about.
little fadeaway or whatever.
And then the 2 others were threes.
Yeah.
So everything else was in the paint. That's good.
I love
That's really
that.
good.
Compazzo tonight had an interesting one. 8 points, 6 assists, 3 steals, and some big-time steal. Like, Facu steals are fun. Facu has the funnest steals.
Facu's game is so impossible to understand.
It's so hilarious.
It is
man.
impossible to deny.
Yeah.
Even more impossible to understand.
Yeah.
Like he could not. Like at a certain point, he was shooting in the first, and he kept missing because he had 0 points until the fourth quarter, where then he was the leading scorer.
Right. Leading scorer in the fourth quarter. 9
But
points.
I think Kale or somebody was like, "Well, you know, he's been shooting. He's due," and we were like, "No, he's not." He's not due at all. Like he's either on or off. There's no due with Facu. It's like, but he's just, I don't know, man. He's just that. He's just a little lightning bug.
Adam,
out
when
there.
you was not here, we did the circle of trust. I'm not sure if you read it or not, watched it or not.
Nope.
But- okay, so what would you think Facu's shot would be in the circle of trust for me? Like, do you think it's in or it's out?
It's in. You trust him in the clutch is
Totally.
the thing.
There goes the answer right there.
Yeah.
It's the last part that you added
Yeah.
in the clutch.
Yeah.
Clutch.
And he had one tonight. I mean, he was scoreless for most of this game, all but like the last 5 minutes.
But you knew that last shot was going to go in.
Yeah.
Or the shot that mattered. Like, everyone felt that one going in. You knew it was going in. Early in the game, he takes that. Do you have that same type of confidence?
No, and I will say one thing. You're right that he is clutch, that he has come up clutch quite a bit, and even in big games. Tonight, you know, it's nice. He needs to also make one more. Like having 0 points on some of those, including the one that was most frustrating was the Jokic assist. Do you know the one I'm talking about? Jokic also got pissed at this one. Handoff to him. He curls around for a wide open layup and somehow smokes it. And Jokic was like really furious at that one too.
Yeah.
But that being said, you're right. I do trust him in the clutch, and I do even his 3-point shot especially. His 3-point shot is where I trust him maybe the most in the clutch. It's kind of funny.
I just am in love with Facu now. Like, I love watching him. I'm
Gusta.
just so
Make-
appreciative that I get to watch him every single night. Like, the guy is just ridiculous. I can't get over how he's in the NBA and he's on the Denver Nuggets right now. I just love it.
Harrison's pandering so hard.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Harrison knows that he has to dig back out from the hole he dug himself early on. when
With
he was
Serbia. He's not allowed in Serbia.
slandering Facu.
That's easy. You just go to another country, another beautiful country.
Everybody, like, exiles himself in Argentina anyway. I could do the same.
Jeez. Austin Rivers tonight, also 9 points. He goes 3 of 8, 2 of 5. I continue to like him. I don't really have too many Austin Rivers notes tonight. I thought it was just kind of a normal game from him. Anybody have a take on Austin Rivers?
Austin Rivers has been a really cool story, but I mean, I'm kind of questioning how big of an impact he's gonna like make in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like a game like he had tonight. I feel like that's gonna be kind of the norm for him in the playoffs. 9 points, 31 minutes, 3 of 8 from the field, some nice moments. Like he's a good piece.
Yeah.
He's a good piece.
I mean, the greatest
nice
part
side
about
piece.
that was the 0 turnovers. Like,
Yeah.
you know what to expect of him. And also, he's a point guard, but he really doesn't have the ball in his hands a ton.
Yeah.
So, like, he plays within the flow of the offense, and that's actually big for a player like him that comes in so late in the season. And he, you know, like with Michael Porter Jr., a lot of it was, does he know the offense? Can he run the offense? You don't have those same questions with Austin Rivers. He's a vet. He already understands where to be at on the floor and just how to kind of stay out of the way.
Yeah, he's quick too, man. Like his little first step jab when he wants it to be quick is impressive. He can like get by guys. He's not like always super aggressive with it. Like he's not super forward, but like when he decides he wants to get to the cup, like he can do it, which I appreciate. Like he has some good takes. It's not always just him firing from the outside. So
You guys know a weird feeling is when I see Eric and Dev in both the YouTube chat and the company Slack while the show is going. It's amazing.
I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how they do that. I'm
You know,
getting
I mean,
notifications from Eric. And
here's
I'm like, wait, what?
here's the easiest way to do it. Just a pro tip: don't listen to what you guys are talking about, and then just do your own thing.
You are doing your own thing.
Man, Adam, you're so good at like catching me up to speed on.
Oh, I can always tell. I look over and when I ask a question when somebody's like, "Oh crap, I wasn't listening." I repeat it. I don't know if you've ever got this, but I'm like, "What do you think,
you're
Dev?"
so good at that.
Of Austin Rivers' impact on the bench.
Because
You're like, "Oh,
Vogt does not do that. And he just like asked me the question. I'm like, what did you say again? Say that one more time.
Like I was talking to the chat. I was in the Slack.
I mean, but the chat loves us. Like we have to talk to the people.
It's true.
We're here for them.
The chat. Look,
don't love me. I mean, I trust me. I can go back and look. I cry into my pillow at night.
You don't talk to them.
I always
the way
notice
they do.
it when one of them just starts cracking up in the middle of the show. Like,
Well, if you
we
guys
didn't
think
say
about
anything
it, Adam,
funny.
you're doing such a wonderful job.
the wonderful
this,
list.
this does feel
and
good. Wow,
Harrison, you're
This feels
Mr.
great.
Professional, so you don't have the
Unbelievable.
time to joke around like me
No.
and this guy.
I don't.
Like,
I really
we're the
don't.
men of the people.
The couch over
That's what
here
we
is the
do.
You got
casual
you got the
couch.
host, the pro, and the chuckle fucks.
It's us.
Where do you guys? I guess we could start with Monte Morris. Mr. Nugget made his return tonight. He
Oh,
only played
boy.
10 minutes, all in the first half. Did finally make a shot. For a while there, it was like, oh man, he's going to miss everything. But here's the big thing: Michael Malone tonight, and it's really the story of the game. Like we sit here and piss and moan about things that didn't go right. The story of the game was the Nuggets were up 20, and the second unit came in and blew it. And they blew it in part because they tried to go true bench. The Nuggets have been putting Porter or Jokic, one of those two guys, on the court for most, if not all of the game, but most of the game. Tonight, they were like, F it, 18-point lead. Let's see what happens when we take them both out. They sucked. What do you make? Is this just Monte Morris' first time back? That bench will figure it out? Or do you feel, Dev, that they really need to stagger even these last 3 games of the regular season?
Well, first off, I'll give credit to Malone, actually. Like, this is something that he's learned, or what I've seen to be different. Usually when Morris comes back, he just throws him right out there, right into the fire, and he plays them like big minutes. Tonight was a time that he did not play him a lot of minutes. I mean, that could be just how injured, I guess, Morris was. But that was different for him. And also to go with the guys that have been playing. Austin Rivers, he still gave him big minutes. Facu, he still started him and gave him big minutes. And I feel like that's just different, especially with Morris, because Monte is Malone's guy. Like,
He almost did it again.
Through
He
and through.
almost started cracking up in the middle.
so yeah, like that's what I want to give credit to. But also, like, you just have to get a smaller rotation. He went with the guys that have been playing well lately.
Yeah, just 10 minutes for Monte. Like,
You got to be smart, though, with this hamstring.
right, but that's how smart they want to be, because
Yeah.
they learned from what happened with Gary Harris when he came back from that adductor
From
and
that adductor, the abductor,
Yeah.
the quad,
and
the
played
core.
30 minutes against the Wizards and reheard it. and re-injured himself, and we never heard from him again. Like, this is how important they think it is, and they're right, to make sure Monte is healthy for the playoffs, because we know he's going to play huge minutes in the playoffs. We know he's going to play 25 to 30 minutes in each and every playoff game. So I think kind of his struggles tonight were just being his first game back. But I appreciate the Nuggets' commitment to really ramping him up slowly. I like that. I like that he only played 10 minutes.
Is it a bigger benefit letting the bench try to play all by themselves, or is it more of a benefit of, hey, in the playoffs, Michael Porter and Jokic, you're going to be on the court at all times, so we'll leave you guys together because you're going to be playing 30 minutes together come playoff time? Do you think it's more about that, just trying to get them the most minutes together?
I do. I also think the one thing I liked from Monte quickly is that his shot, where now it wasn't falling, but it wasn't short, and when you hurt your legs, that's where your power. That's where your power comes from. Like, if people are their legs are feeling tight, or they're not feeling like they're game ready, a lot of times their shots will be short. And Monte didn't look like he was feeling any ill effects from the time off, which I thought was really positive and really gave me heart. It just seems like he is going. I mean, obviously he's just rusty. That's what happens with every player after they sit for a few weeks. But I thought he looked good, man. He had a good finish. He drained a couple, and he was just kind of bouncing around. He looked like Monte again. I just think that his presence, be it on the starting unit or with the bench, is going to right either one of those units.
Do you think in the playoffs it is Jokic or Porter on the floor at all times?
Yes, absolutely. I can't imagine. Look, we remember Game 3 of the Portland Nuggets series when Jokic sat for 3 minutes and it cost him the entire game. And I think if you have minutes in a playoff series with neither of those two guys on the court, you might get buckets from Millsap. You might get buckets from JaMychal Green. You might. But, boy, if you don't, it could be really ugly. So, absolutely, I think one of them is on the court.
I agree. I think that has to be the case.
Jokic is going to play 41, 42 minutes a night.
There's going to be such a slim margin for error with this team in the playoffs,
it's
where
so slim.
You're going to need Jokic to play 40-plus minutes. You're going to need Porter to play around the same. So I totally agree.
Is there anybody else from the bench, Dev, that stood out to you tonight? I mean, that you look at that bench unit. You had Chanchar play some minutes early on. I don't know that he didn't come back in. You had Marcus Howard play minutes for a while there. What, Shaq Harrison maybe?
JaMychal Green can't make a dunk.
That's what I was going to
there. You tweeted this out, and then we got a couple of mentions on it, and I looked it up. JaMychal Green, per NBA.com, shooting 25 of 34, 73.5% on dunks this season, which I feel like is a really bad percentage.
74% on dunks is, come on, man.
Because I looked up Porter, and we all talk about Porter. He has small hands, he can't finish. He's shooting 90-something% on dunks.
Yeah.
So, JaMychal Green shooting 73.5% on dunks, that's bad.
I mean, the thing is, it's a dunk.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was worse. I'll be honest. I thought it was worse just because of the fact that I feel like he misses one. Damn, he should have had it every single game.
He's gotten some foul calls on him, so he has more misses that don't count.
It's the fouls that have been saving him. They should be regular dunks. But also to go 74% from dunks. That's horrible. If it's a free throw, it's a free throw. You say that
it really is, man.
A Jokic free throw is greater than a J-Mike dunk.
Yeah, I would rather have a Porter contested three at this stage than a JaMychal Green dunk.
That's so true. It's
oh my God, what has happened to us?
What has happened to us?
You just think about dropping something in the trash can, and you only do it 74% of the time. Come on, man. You're missing.
It is pretty funny how much
good.
he misses dunks. That's his thing. With Plumlee, it was that he reverses dunks. With J-Mike, it's that he misses them. This is above.
I prefer the reverse to the miss.
I do prefer it as well. Shaq Harrison continues to be a guy I just love rooting for, but I will say my confidence in his offensive game has really gone down. I mean, defensively, I just think the guy's incredible. You watch him, the way he recovered. I had this on the list. There was a play, I think it was in the Utah game, where he dives for the ball and gets back up, and it was almost like he was doing a burpee or something, where it was like, get up as quick as you can. He dove, tips the ball just a little bit and gets up before the other guy can even turn around. It was the most amazing thing. But he always does that. Defensively, you just watch him. Even when he gets beat, he recovers. But I did have hope that he was like a slasher. Like I never had hope that he was a shooter. It's like, oh, he's a slasher. Now I'm like, when he slashes, I'm like, oh god.
Have we seen a jump shot by him?
Yeah, he's made a couple threes. He's made a couple threes. Yeah,
he has. But he's kind of at the point now where if he's not getting it on a cut, like one of those cuts where he just fills the lane, he's just probably not shooting.
Yeah.
And the defense knows he's not shooting, and the defense knows he's not a threat.
But I used to even like him going coast to coast. I mean, I put this out on Twitter a couple weeks back where I'm like, man, he's so good coast to coast. And he is. He's really quick. He's really long. But, boy, he's not. He's like 0 for his last 10 on coast to coast attempts.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, maybe he just had a hot 4 or 5 game run on coast to coast. That being said, I do love his defense. So I'm still very intrigued by him. And then Millsap is the other guy that I think stood out to me. He only goes 3 of 6, which surprises me because last few games I just feel like his one-on-one game has looked old school. Looked like old Millsap, the young one.
Oh yeah, it's old school.
Yeah,
like he's back to elevating 3 or 4 inches off of the ground, but like making absolutely everything. Like the ball as it just like creeps over the tiger floaters.
Tiger floaters. I also just love his Twitter game lately.
Yeah, he's really come into his own on Twitter.
Today he said, "I'm sick of this!" 3 exclamation points. Where do you think he was talking about? Cane's or Chick-fil-A? I don't know why I'm sick of this. Where did that come from?
That's not even 2 things that are like alike. Like he could have said,
it's not Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. It's I could feel him if that was what he was sick of.
They both have chicken tenders.
Yeah, they do. They're somewhat alright. I never eat it either.
But also, what the hell was he talking? Where did he come from?
He's sick of it.
He just can't take that debate anymore.
You don't want to talk about it, Dev?
There's so many things that he could have talked about.
I'm sick of it too. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't know. I just don't know. He was the magic man. Now he's like just pulling out anything out there.
A couple of days ago, like Saturdays are just like
I love Saturdays, even though all my days are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
To look out and see people chill, walking and enjoying nature is the best. Enjoy this day.
You know what?
Love it.
I love it.
I love it.
I'm gonna make it my mission. I know that I mean, you guys know. I'm trying to share a 1-bedroom apartment with Jokic at some point.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Paul Millsap might be my fallback.
He's married.
I don't care. She can come. I just want to hang out with him.
He sets his goals awfully high. Let's take our final break. On the other side, guys, something interesting happened tonight with the standings out west. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, Brendan Vogt, live from the Denver Nuggets locker room. He'll be joining us.
We have super chats to get to at some point.
We have super chats. Oh, sweet. We have a lot to get to. Let's hit these ads quick, Harrison. Very quick.
We got breaking news just into the show. Breaking news alert, Kale. The Lawnmower 4.0.
Oh, it's here.
He's here. It's arrived.
Oh, man, I got
Go get
it.
him. Bring him out. Show
Look
him
at
off.
this. The Lawnmower 4.0.
The Lawnmower 4.0.
It's a little smaller. It's got different sizes. So if you want to give a fade to the old the old nether regions.
Look at that majestic machine.
Man.
Look at that majestic. Is there anything more beautiful that's designed to do more unspeakable things?
I cannot wait to be tamed.
Yeah, I can't wait to use the Lawnmower 4.0. Like, I'm so excited. I'm going to go home and use it tonight, like, to be quite honest.
I'm going to do designs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to carve Showtime in there.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to do that.
Wow.
Oh, man. You guys can get
the exact shirt with the lines.
4.0 from manscaped.com. You can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code DNVR. Again, get that Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped. Just launched, just came out. Get it for 20% off with the code DNVR20 at manscaped.com. Let's also see what we got here from DraftKings. UFC 262 this weekend.
Ooh.
Nate Diaz, Michael Chandler. There's no shortage of action.
I can't believe Nate Diaz is back. It's my favorite fighter.
Really?
You
Yeah.
said that Canelo was your favorite fighter.
Boxer.
Yeah, UFC is just...
Yeah, UFC. Nate Diaz is my
Crazy,
favorite, man.
man.
And people are going to be in the chat hating him because he's like, you either love him or hate him. I love that dude. He's the toughest dude on earth. Honest to God, triathlon runner, but also like the dude he goes and loses every fight but doesn't quit,
Dude,
and then he ends up winning because the other guy quit.
All he does is just accumulate scar tissue all over his face. So he gets punched once, and it's just a waterfall of blood. It is the most harrowing thing.
He
to
gets
witness.
beat up in every fight, but keeps going, and he's great. He's talking trash, and you're like,
he's like, I didn't hear no bell.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. I didn't hear no bell.
If you want to bet on Adam's favorite fighter, Nate Diaz.
Oh, he's going to lose.
The toughest guy in the world. Toughest guy in the
He
world.
is the toughest guy in the world. I really believe that.
You just have to pick him or another main event fighter you think will win. DraftKings Sportsbook will give you 100-1 odds on that fighter. So you bet $1 on Nate Diaz. If he wins, you win $100. Super easy with DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure to download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up to turn $1 into $100 when you bet on a main card fighter to win. Place your bet. Watch the fists fly this weekend. Let's go DNVR to turn $1 into $100.
By the way, guys, if you like fly into Colorado and you're just here for a little bit, visit, if you're not from here, download the app, take advantage of all those deals, then cash out. That's what my buddy Patrick, who was just here, he's coming. He didn't have it there, so he came in, took advantage, won like $250 off of can't miss deals.
It's the worst thing about
Cashed out.
traveling when you don't have access.
Oh,
to
it's the worst.
The sportsbook. It's an absolute vibe killer. Turn $1 into $100 at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Finally, got to talk about Solace Meds. They've got a bunch of locations in Denver. 4 actually locations in Colorado. 1 in Denver, just blocks from the DNVR bar on East Colfax. Pop in there. They got tons of deals going on right now. You can use code DNVR20 at checkout to get 20% off anything. I'm pretty sure in the store you can get, like I said, 20% off your order with the code DNVR20 at checkout. They got tons of deals. 20% off all Glacier concentrates, 20% off Mile High extractions, 20% off CBN gummies. Tons and tons of deals at Solace Meds. They got 4 locations, 1 in Fort Collins, 1 in Wheat Ridge, 1 off Broadway, 1 just blocks away from the DNVR bar on East Colfax. Top shelf stuff at Solace Meds. And when you make your purchase, be sure to use code DNVR20 to save 20%. You can use that in store or you can use that at solacemeds.com.
One thing back here for the final segment here, one thing we didn't talk about that I am ashamed to say we missed.
Your haircut?
Not my haircut.
Oh.
That spin pass by Facu. That pass, all-timer, man.
That was wild.
All-timer. I mean, it was a matrix pass where it went like around because he put
curved
spin.
the bullet.
He put spin on it and curved the bullet, and then it bounces. You're just like, you got to be kidding me.
If LaMelo Ball makes that, it's all over sports.
So true.
Bleacher Report has like
Talking
10
about
consecutive tweets
Rookie of
about
the
it.
year.
That would have been the most insane.
El Mago.
And it's
right?
not
El
going to take
Mago,
away
dude.
from it because it is an incredible pass. But, since it's Facu, it's not getting the same type. Like, we even forgot about it. If LaMelo would have made it, we probably wouldn't have forgot about it. It was such a good
He
pass.
is just so
it was
incredible,
beautiful.
man. How a guy at his height, because he's listed at 5'10", there's no way he's 5'10". how a guy at his height can make this type of impact in the NBA?
It's crazy.
I'm blown away, man. I'm blown away every night.
El Mago. I can't believe it. We forgot that one for now. Yeah, let's get the
Yeah.
super chats. Do you have a headset or no? No. All right, Adam. Are we still friends?
Debatable.
Question. Well, earlier he did something I won't speak of, but he is going to have to atone for it. Number 2, chances we rest our rotation here on out. The second question, it really is. I guess we can get to the important thing. This leads us to the important thing. Dallas Mavericks lost tonight, guys. They lost tonight. That means currently the Denver Nuggets are matched up with the Portland Trailblazers in the 4-5.
Holy smokes.
So now we keep talking about that Portland game being about, you could tank it and then Denver will play the Lakers will go to the play-in. But now it might be where Denver has to pick their opponent on the final night of the season. Beat Portland, you play Dallas. Lose to Portland, you play Portland. Weird situation to be in.
That is weird.
That is a fantastic
I feel like
situation.
ideally you don't want that game to mean anything, and you just don't want to show your hand at all.
Totally.
Before a potential first-round series against Portland. But yeah, that's going to be super awkward if that game is meaningful. Man, I hope it's not.
So my answer to that is I don't think Denver cares Portland or Dallas. I do think they care. And personally, I think Dallas is the easier matchup.
I agree. I think they would want Dallas.
I think they would slightly want Dallas. Not enough for them to maybe, like you said, show your hand or this or that. Yeah. But nonetheless, all the same, I do think Denver probably plays the rest of their games like this one. And maybe that last one even less so. In that this one they tried Vlaco. last game it was bowl. I think they're going to keep doing that where it's like,
I agree.
If we were really trying to win, we would do something different. But right now,
I think maybe that last game against Portland is like, yeah, we'll play our starters the first half, and then the second half, ease up a little bit.
Thursday, Friday's a back-to-back, though. That's one with travel, and I keep wondering if ever there was a game to punt, a back-to-back might be the one, but I don't know.
Man, that's going to be fascinating. Who do you want, Portland or Dallas?
Dallas.
Me too.
I want Dallas.
Me too.
And Portland makes for a better, there's revenge,
Yeah.
There's this or that, but there's also just more risk, in my
I
opinion.
slightly want Dallas more, slightly.
I want my entertainment to be entertaining.
Yeah.
This is for
You want to be entertained.
entertain me. Here I am now. Entertain me. I want to see the Portland Trailblazers come back into Ball Arena. And they're like, oh, we've been here before. We've done this. And then we just smoke them.
Yeah.
Just smoke them.
If Denver gets Portland, it's 100% the NBA TV series. Because if Golden State is there in the 1-8 and the Lakers are there in the 2-3 and the Clippers are there in the 3,
put us on NBA TV.
the
We're getting NBA
one.
TV regardless of the matchup. It does not
This is
matter.
so true. DNVR bar. Yeah, that's probably. Well, if you get Luka, they might. I mean, Luka's the guy.
We're gonna get the Nickelodeon simulcast.
the simulcast.
It's gonna be
the Marvel one.
You know what they're gonna do is they're just gonna superimpose SpongeBob on top of Faku. That's gonna be incredible.
Slime everywhere.
CeeLo.
Galaxy brain, but I wouldn't be shocked if Malone let it get close to expose them to close games as we get into the playoffs.
So Malone tanking during a game so Denver has to play a close game.
Let me say something. Malone's competitive nature would not allow that. Even if he thought like I do think that Malone sometimes has some we're going to make it tough or this or that, but there's no way he's too competitive in moments. I can't see it.
No way. Absolutely no way. He wants to win every game by 20 every game.
And I think he just went into this game knowing hey, Vlaho's going to go out there. We're going to play these guys because who else? And you need to give rest for key guys. So you're going into it, and those lineups are going to be very feast or famine. Tonight they were famine. What else we got?
Next one coming in from German or
Herman. Who should be the point guard for the playoff, Monte or Facu? So a good one. We've talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm Facu. I'm Team Facu. Who closes, I think, can go back and forth, although we're so late in the season.
They
Monte
both might close.
Man,
together.
no, they will not. No, they will not.
My
No?
thing is that
Who are they going to – I mean, maybe against, Jalen Brunson. I don't know, man. That many teams are small enough for them to do that. That's too small.
I'd go with the best, the better defender, just because you're not going to be seeing second units.
Yeah.
Facu is the better defender. He's the irritant. He's the guy that
Yep.
both of them know how to play offense, and they play offense the right way, and they know how to get everyone involved. But Facu brings the energy from the get go, and also can be a interchangeable defender. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny isn't it funny that now we look at Facu as the better defender, just based on how this year started, and we were like, oh man, he's so small. People can just back him down to the post. They're going to take advantage. But he's just is such an, as we like to say, an agent of chaos. He just steals passes that don't look like they're even available to be stolen.
Yeah, totally.
He just creates things out of thin air. He is El Mago. He is the magician. He makes things materialize where they've not been before. But the thing is that Monte, we're kind of forgetting who Monte is because he's been out of sight, out of mind for a while, and Facu's been, ascending in our eyes. Monte's, I would be hard pressed to turn away from what Monte brings.
Do you want to know what the best part is? You could play them both. You really can.
Together,
play them
you're
both.
saying?
Yes,
I don't
because
think so, man.
look at the two guard. It's going to be Austin Rivers.
He's bigger, man. He's just bigger. He's bulkier.
Yeah.
Part of this is bulk.
You have time to with Monte in the game. You'll just be able to ride the hot hand. If Monte has a good game, you go with him. He is bigger, but also everybody knows is going to rely on Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. anyway.
Right,
Now
yeah.
you get guys around them that just make smart plays, high IQ plays. You get to go with it.
Yeah. I think it'll be I think Facu will start. I think it'll be matchup dependent who closes and situationally dependent.
Yeah.
If you're down, you probably throw out Monte there to give a little bit more spacing. If you're up, you probably put Facu out there to give a little bit more defense, but and just control. But I don't know, man. I've really enjoyed Facu alongside Jokic. I just think it's kind of worked in a way that That is good. And then Monte runs that second unit. Not tonight so much, but I think he will. We have one more.
Last one, yep.
Okay, let me see. What do we have here? From Ryan Kelly, ESP-N has Denver at 4th for future power rankings. Oh, I saw that today. Do you agree? Should it be higher or lower? So ESPN does this thing every year called future power rankings, and it's a formula. It's kind of like scientifically unscientific because they break it down into like your roster, your salary cap situation, your market, which is of course completely subjective. These different little categories. And Denver came in 4th. I think the Brooklyn Nets were number 1.
Well, here's who they're behind.
Okay.
3 just classic super teams, man. They're behind Brooklyn at number 1,
Okay.
the Clippers at 2, and the Lakers at 3.
What is it with the Clippers? What is it with these goddamn Clippers? What have the Clippers shown the world so that
they
keep
can
getting,
get a free agent?
They keep
That's
getting
what they've
picked
shown.
for things over and over. All we
Well,
see
where
them
did it
do
rake
is
in market is why.
fall apart.
Yeah, I
With
was
their
about to say,
market
Clippers
score.
and market are tied for 4th.
See, this is the thing is that they do it on the stupid, like, that's why I say it's scientifically unscientific.
They're like, but
The Nuggets are 14th.
Just imagine
in market.
looking in and just using your human intuition and being like, who I bet is going to get better and better is Kawhi and Paul George.
Right,
as the
right.
years go on, like, what are we talking about? Like, they're as good as they're ever going to be.
I do. I would probably say, and I think most people would likely agree that with health of the Murray, Porter, Jokic trio, Denver's outlook as early as next season is phenomenal.
Buy Nug Coin.
Just as
Buy
good as
Nug
anyone.
coin. You want to buy Nug coin? All right.
What if we started Nugcoin?
No coin. It's like if they win, everybody's gets doubles. But the market, the salary cap, all of those things.
I almost feel like 4th with this formula is as good as they can be.
Because read off the different categories for Denver and where they ranked.
Players, just like talent,
It means their roster.
ranked 4th.
First of all, BS. I'm sorry. Are you seriously going to tell me you would take? I mean, Brooklyn, okay, because they've got Harden and Kyrie and KD, and over the next 2 or 3 years, they could be
Bucks
great.
are 2.
Come on, man. Seriously? MPG. They have the MVP. You got Michael Porter, who's like, and then Jamal
star.
Murray. No, I'm sorry.
Another star. Yeah,
Sorry.
so that's bullshit. Management
What did they give management?
tied for 4th.
Okay, so it's high score.
I mean, should it not be higher?
I would have to see who scored higher in their management.
The Clippers.
As
They're
soon-
tied with the
I
Lakers
was
in
just gonna say,
management.
as soon
bro.
as you say the Lakers, the genius Rob Pelinka, he's like, what if I were able to get
Anthony Davis.
Daryl Morey and the
LeBron
76ers
James.
first. in
Oh, how did you come up with
management.
that? Rob
You know, I like
Pelinka?
that though for them. I mean, Daryl Morey probably deserves it.
Money tied for 19th. I don't really know what money
it's
is.
salary cap flexibility, which I think is fair. Like Denver, that is going to be one of the biggest obstacles for Denver.
Sure.
One, they're going to have to go into the tax,
They're
and
gonna
none
have
of us
three ma-
have
they're gonna have
that
three
much
max
faith
players.
that the Cronkies are going to go into the tax. First of all, but number 2, even if they do go into the tax, they already have 3 players that are going to be max dudes. Like
Yeah.
you're going to have to really get big.
But that could be where Tim Connolly shines.
He does.
Yes.
He does. This is the thing.
That's where he shines.
Market tied for 14th.
Fair.
So
whatever.
that drags them down. I mean, if their market was top 10, they might be like
That's true.
first on this list. And then draft.
F it, man. I'm so high on the Nuggets
What is-
long-term outlook.
what is
just
dra-
need help.
Yeah.
You
What
kidding
is
me?
draft?
Draft at capital, draft assets.
So
and Denver doesn't have very many
that is
draft.
something where they're lacking, tied for 21st.
yeah, they're
For
gonna
them to be in
But-
4th is incredible.
Right.
given some of the negatives.
But I mean,
yeah.
draft capital isn't important. I mean, as important where the Nuggets are right now.
It's funny because the one that matters by far the most was the market thing because it's like the Clippers, like you were
I
saying, the
don't know.
Clippers
Yeah,
and
I'm
Lakers,
just so
and it's
excited.
like
What are those young bucks on the Lakers going to do in the next?
I know, and it's like they have
in the
no
coming
future.
years.
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter because they know. Anyway, yeah, interesting one. We're watching the scores right now. Scoreboard watching the Knicks and Lakers are taking on. So here's what's crazy. We just talked about the Portland just leapfrogged Dallas. You know, the Lakers have a chance. We've kind of all written them into the 7 seed, and I still think they are. But they could get hot and go on a run. So this Knicks game, it's like if they lose to the Knicks tonight, I feel not quite a lock, but close to a lock. They'll be the play-in. If they win tonight,
I'm sorry. I'm just stuck on these rankings that the Knicks are 7th. I want to take a
Oh, wow.
screenshot of this and just
read off what it is.
look back in a couple
I'll
years.
read off their ones here.
Players tied for 18th. So
Okay, that's about accurate. I was going to
accurate.
say, if they have those players that high, man,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Management tied for 11th, which I don't really get.
Wow. Well, they've got now Rose, right? Leon Rose, isn't he like running
Yeah.
things over there? I will say it's a new day for the Knicks. Well, every time there's been a new day, it has like crashed and burned.
Yeah.
It's
But
been the shortest day of the year.
But maybe this
Winter
time
solstice.
is different.
This
Maybe
time
it's
is different because they're going to get Chris Paul.
Jeez.
Money, which is legit. They have a ton of money to spend, tied for first.
Yeah.
How they spend it, we'll see. Market, which I don't agree with this at all, tied for first. I don't think players want to play in New York
They
nearly
do.
as much
They
as
do.
they used to.
They do,
They
man.
always talk about it.
Yeah, they do.
Why haven't they gotten any free agents?
Because of Dolan. But that's what
but
I'm saying.
Dolan's still going to be the owner forever.
But you know what? They got Worldwide West and Leon Rose. They
big
got
fucking deal,
fixed.
man.
I'm just saying they got fixers in there. We'll see.
Players do not want to play in New York as much as they used to.
It only takes one, man. Look at what Julius Randle, his star has. Some people want him to be the MVP.
Yeah, and they're not going to be able to re-sign.
You saw the fan. You've seen all these videos of the fans, parading down the street when they got to 500. Like,
I'm not buying the Knicks as a destination.
which current superstar or budding superstar is 100% going to ruin their career by choosing the Knicks? It might be Zion. I could totally see Zion forcing his way to the Knicks and then just like disappearing.
That
Amari Stoudemire-esque, where it's like, all right.
Oh my God, who is
Devin
it?
Booker, maybe?
I could see Devin
Unless
Booker.
if the
yeah.
Suns
feels
hadn't been
way
that
too LA
good.
to
Ben Simmons, I could see, to be honest with you. I
Simmons.
could see Ben
that's a
Simmons
good
getting
one.
too big for
Like
Philly.
DeAndre Ayton, maybe. Draft 7. So I guess they have draft capital. But that is a ridiculously high ranking for the Knicks.
Jeez, what's going on with the post with vote? Like, are they?
Oh yeah, he's talking. He told me he's talking to Jokic as we speak. Maybe he got locked out of the building. He's talking to Jokic.
It's always a possibility.
Jokic always goes long right now, and it's what can we do? He's the king.
Yeah,
I would wait weeks.
Do you think
for
maybe
him.
that Vote and Jokic are doing a workout right now?
Do you have a guess for who's last on these rankings?
Dead last. Who has the most effed up situation?
Yeah. Who is just so fucked they should just fold
Orlando.
the franchise?
Orlando or
Minnesota.
Orlando is RJ Hampton. No.
Minnesota.
No.
Wow, this is a fun one.
We didn't get it.
Sacramento?
It's an obvious one when you think about it. No, it's not Sacramento.
Oh man, this is fun. Don't tell me. I kind of want to sit here and guess. It's not Charlotte.
No, it's not Charlotte.
I was gonna
They
say
got
Cleveland,
LaMelo
but it
Ball.
can't be Cleveland.
Cleveland.
It is Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Tied for 28th in players, 30th in management. Ouch. Shout out Kobe Allman.
Wow.
15 in money, 29th in market. Who's got a worse market than Cleveland?
Oklahoma City. It's got to be Oklahoma
It's
City.
Minnesota.
Minnesota? Wow.
That is not true. Oklahoma City's got the worst market. I mean, come on.
No, it has to be Minnesota. They like have been last with the Nuggets for like a lot of years.
Wow.
for viewers and stuff.
So, getting an update here from Vote. Apparently, Jokic spoke to the media and had a lot to say about the MVP, but the audio wasn't working on the Zoom call and nobody could hear him.
Oh my God.
Here he comes. Speaking of which, it is voting time. Who's getting up? Who's vacating a seat?
Sure.
All right, Kill Bill. Dev, you were great today.
Oh, nice. Kill Bill reference.
Yeah, did you see that? Because of the shirt. Did you see the shirt? Yeah. Yeah. All right, it's voting time. I can't wait to
man
hear
in the
about
Iron Mask
the
has
shit
arrived.
show that was Nikola Jokic's media availability.
Do you guys want to hear Jokic's first comments all season, like real comments about MVP?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So I would like to hear it as well.
So what happened?
I don't know, just an audio issue at the end there. It was pretty hard to hear Yoke, obviously.
So literally you couldn't tell us.
Yeah, I mean, he was speaking, but I wasn't getting any of it. I texted other media members. I haven't even seen any quotes out there yet, so I'm
So
sure
nobody
Harrison
got
Wind
it.
will get in there with the video later and
Wow.
clip something. But it was a good media session, guys.
I can't wait to hear about it. So take us inside. What
Oh,
was
okay.
first of all, Malone, what was he like?
He was good. Right off the bat, he joked with Mike Singer, I missed you during pregame, didn't I? And Singer explained that he was just late in the car, couldn't get it to work on Zoom.
Wow.
And Malone shakes his head and says, "This is a no-excuse team, Mike. Get out of here with that bullshit.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that bullshit."
Here.
Wow.
That's a real quote. Yeah, he was just pulling his leg, obviously.
So in a great mood.
I know, yeah, that's so true. You know what's funny is he's like complained about beat reporters not being there for real.
Yeah.
So, if you lose this game, he calls you out.
Yeah,
not
maybe he
ironically.
wasn't joking. We'll find out. On the game, real quick, quote, "We're at our best when we defend, we rebound, and we run. The challenge is not just to do it early. The great running teams do it for 48 minutes." But moving on, bigger picture stuff. On resting Jokic, Malone said on one hand he has a lot of respect for Jokic and his approach, but on the other, they are, I'm paraphrasing of course, they are in a stretch of season now where staying healthy really is the top priority. So there is ongoing dialogue there. They'll continue to talk to Jokic about what it means to try to get rest, and also just opportunities for other guys to play. He's mentioned Marcus Howard, and I think he maybe even appealing to the teammate side of some of these stars here, opportunities for guys towards the end of the bench. On clinching home court, quote, "This has been a very long year. Let's call it what it is. To be able to accomplish home court advantage with all the injuries we've had is just a testament to that group. And that's why I love coaching them so much."
Yeah, man, that should not go under the rug.
So-
For the Nuggets to get home court advantage with all the injuries that they've had, man, huge
Only
accomplishment.
team 3 times.
That's
is
correct.
that
Yeah, they're the only team to do that out west 3 times in a row now. And they hit the over again, Harrison, to your point. I mean, to think really,
They hit the over?
they hit the over on win totals this season.
They always-
That's
they always
crazy.
hit the
Crazy
over.
to
That's
me.
insane,
It's a
man.
lock, man. I mean, pretty much Jokic has to go down for you to start thinking they don't
Literal
hit that.
public bias. This is actually that in tangible form. The market's too low on the Nuggets, always.
Monte only played in the first half. That was just a minutes restriction thing. Quote, "We just wanted to get him first half minutes." I don't have enough hands for this. Hang on. There's a lot going on here. We did talk to Monte, who admitted it was tough sitting this year watching. Quote, "I ain't really never been hurt before. So it was tough for him, but he's glad to be back out there." He was asked about the way Facundo Campazzo was playing and the eventual rotation. And Monte did not bite. Quote, "I am not the coach. He's been playing amazing. I don't get paid to make rotation decisions. I get paid to be the best version of myself. And that's what he's going to focus on regardless, whether they go with Facu or him."
I believe Monte is the best version of himself.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
I think he's the best version of
maximized
us all.
himself
He is better. He's a
to
better
every
version.
extent. Totally maximized himself.
And just quick, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Dev went home.
See you on
Dev just pieced the F out.
So
All right, go ahead.
This gets interesting now. Monte was asked about MPJ, and he smiled. MPJ sort of stepping into this second scorer role, and he says, "We see it every day." And he says, and even he'll tell you he ain't even 100%, and he's putting up these numbers.
What does that mean?
Now, so Monte said 100% healthy.
Yeah.
Bear with me, guys. This is going to be a roller coaster. Okay?
Oh, wow. Let's
We
hear
did
it.
talk to Michael Porter Jr.
Okay.
So he was asked if he's playing the best basketball of his career, to which he hilariously said, "Nah." I'd say senior year of high school, probably.
Yeah. When I was scoring 40 a game.
Yeah.
Casual.
I'm definitely adapting my game after the injury.
I first of all, okay, but that's a ridiculous thing.
Ridiculous
Right.
thing to say. This is
Right.
this is the guy we're dealing with. And
Oh,
he
I love
believes
it.
that.
That is such a ridiculous thing.
And
to
so
say.
he said this, guys, with a smile on his face, that he's not yet back to 100%, not even close. Now, later, someone followed up and asked about Monte, saying 100% healthy. I want to be clear. Everyone should watch these videos. They are released for full context. I can give you snippets. You can watch the whole thing. Porter backtracks a little bit on saying he's not 100%. He says physically he's fine. With the injuries, he's fine. And it's tough to put a percentage on it. I think there was a sore need to define some terms. I think what Porter was saying is physically he feels okay. The game just isn't as easy to him as it once was when he was 18 pre-back injury. And so he is readapting his game. I think what he meant was he didn't feel like 100% of himself as a
Right.
basketball player on the court.
Yeah.
But Porter has reiterated all season long that physically he feels fine. So
Could it just be he remembers the type of athlete and how
Yes.
fluid he was able to move
Yes.
before the
That's-
back stuff?
That's what I think it
I
means.
And he's just, he could feel 100% of how he'll be the rest of his career, but he's just not the same fluid athlete
Yes.
that he was before the back stuff happened.
I think
maybe that's it.
I think that's nail on the head,
Yeah.
Wind. And it also speaks to what a ridiculous prospect this guy is.
Yeah.
This is the after the career threatening back injury version of a guy. And he's ridiculous. And so I think that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe he never gets to that level again, but I don't mean to cause any ring any alarms here. Porter's fine.
Yeah, he's doing this while still wearing a really uncomfortable brace on his foot.
Yeah.
For the drop foot.
I think what these guys were getting at, this was meant to be a positive thing. The best is yet to come.
Right.
Like this guy's still ascending. So
And we talked about that a little bit on this very show, just about how you could see how easy the game is for him when he's in rhythm and confident, and he's still thinking about it. And I think this all plays into it, the thinking the game part of it,
Yeah.
the confidence, the coordination even. I wonder about some of his bad hand stuff being a little bit of his body still doesn't work the way he remembers it, so it's having
Sure.
to figure things out. But
sure.
I think it's a steep curve.
Yeah.
We've already seen it be a steep curve, and I really just wonder what a whole offseason does for MPJ.
I think I wish I had gotten to see him play in high school.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How ridiculous would that have been?
Well, I remember Nate Duncan said that he was the best he had ever seen since covering the Hoop Summit, and it wasn't even close. So, and he'd been doing it for like a decade now. So
to this point, Adam, Porter did say he still feels like he has 2 to 3 more levels to unlock and layers to unlock. And a lot of it is about playmaking, strengthening those hands, his dribbling.
Did he mention that specifically?
He did, and he mentioned trying to make a leap in the 5 days off between the regular season and the playoffs.
No, I love Porter, dude. I'm telling you, man. He definitely has Mamba mentality.
Dude, he is
totally, man. Like, guys say this about Porter. They respect how seriously he takes his craft and how much time he spends in the gym.
And has since he was a kid.
Yeah.
Porter-
He is a machine.
Okay.
No,
I was just gonna say, when I hear all that, like, it makes me think, like, wow, the Nuggets could really be the 4th best team in the NBA.
If only they had a better market.
Yeah.
If only they had another first-round pick in 3 years. you know?
Yeah. That's
So I cut up
funny.
the timeline a little bit here so we could get the full 100% picture. While he was talking about his high school year, he kind of kept talking and he wandered and he eventually got to the Clippers doctor. A lot of people thought I would never play basketball again. He said, now I'm going to paraphrase, I think it was the Clippers doctor, who brought up a report, showed it to his team and other teams and said he may never play basketball again. And Porter admitted to, after hearing about that, eventually doubting himself.
Yeah.
That report scared even him. So he's just grateful. He knows he's got a long way to go.
The
And-
Clippers should fire that doctor. I mean,
Yeah.
he was completely wrong about that.
Hopefully he left with Doc Rivers, who took the brunt of that.
Maybe it was actually Doc Rivers.
It was Doc Rivers. And they're like, well, he's a doctor.
It's
I
so
mean,
true.
you guys,
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers said he'll never play again. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but going with he'll never play again and he hasn't missed a game
Right.
to injury since coming back, that's
That's
a
a whiff.
big miss. That's a whiff.
That's a miss.
So really interesting perspective from Porter tonight, guys. On Jokic winning MVP, Porter confirmed he really doesn't care. Porter speculates, wonders, such a big thing. Maybe it's somewhere in the back of his head, but for what it's worth, Jokic never talks about it. If you are, I know we have some Jazz fans in this stream. I know a lot of people out of Denver see those quotes and roll their eyes a bit. Oh, he doesn't care.
I think he cares.
I'm
though.
sure he does, but not to the extent that these other guys do.
Here's what I would say. I don't think he cares as in like he's gunning for the MVP. I think he cares in that he's like, I am the MVP. Like he didn't come into the season wanting to win the MVP. He didn't go into any specific game wanting to. I just think that now that the cards are on the table, he's like, you're telling me somebody had a better season than me? No.
I think also there are places in this world, like Denmark, for example, which has been rated the happiest nation on this planet because they have low expectations. I think Jokic is the type that sets himself up for not being disappointed by putting out all of these expectations. I should be this. I am this. He just sort of lets it come and reacts. And, I respect that approach. I mean, he's not politicking. He's not using the bully pulpit like other Embiidian type of players out there. He just is like, what shall be, shall be. And
Yeah, if you can win the MVP without saying you're the MVP for an entire season, that should give you
that's
like
the
two
new that's the new
MVPs.
TikTok craze. Show me you're the MVP without telling me you're the MVP.
Okay, anyway,
Just a highlight mix of Nikola Jokic.
it's just his entire season
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
So one more note. Porter was asked about resting. The initial answer, quote, if Yoke's not resting, I'm definitely not resting.
I
Oh,
love
man.
that.
That's
Well,
fun to hear, but also concerning.
No, you know what? I was concerned at first, but I'm with him. You know what? I do love it.
Bear with me. I don't see a big need to rest, but it's up to them being the coaching staff. If they're just trying to avoid injuries and stuff, quote, then that's cool, end quote. But about how he feels physically, Porter said twice that he does not feel any need to rest. He would play tomorrow if he had to.
Porter's such a freaking Adonis, man. But I gotta say, we gotta go back to the Jokic quote. That's leadership.
It is.
Totally.
And it's important. I know that right now the whole I tell you, the nerds have taken over basketball in some ways, in the worst possible ways, where they are not just because I get the argument about resting this or that, but when fans start rooting for it, I hope they rest. And you're like, why? It sucks when players rest. So I'm going to sit here and just say that I think that Jokic creating this culture of like, I will say this. I think rest clearly helps, but I also think mind over matter helps even more. If you could combine those two, perfect. You've got the perfect thing. But I think so many people think about it in the wrong way, where it's like, no, Jokic is and the Nuggets create a culture of this is our job. We're going to show up and do it. And I just love that the second guy, the guy right behind Jokic, is like, I'm following that lead.
Why don't we have like a whole contingent of people like begging us to rest? I'd like to take a day.
Dude, I think it's funny when people are like, oh, I hope players rest. And I hope they cut the season to 40 games. Because you know what? I love basketball, but I would love it if they played it half as much as they already do. You're like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Never understand it.
Was it KD who tweeted NBA fans don't like the NBA?
They don't.
Right. Yeah. They want to cut the season in half.
They
I
like
like
arguing with people about the NBA.
I hate the NBA. I love those Nuggets though.
Those Denver Nuggets, baby.
I just love those Denver Nuggets. Do you agree?
Cue up that outro music there, KO. Guys, that was great.
All they do is win. Don't take this for granted. 3 years, no team's done more winning in a hard against a harder backdrop of context and circumstances than the Nuggets.
While still being one of the youngest teams in the league.
Yeah, you just don't take this for granted. They are so far past that threshold of good. What it takes for them to be less than good.
And this message, by the way, that don't take it for granted, for the new entrants into the world of the Nuggets. The people that have been here know very, very well this is not something that you can take for granted.
Great point.
It's really fun. Jokic is a gift. MPJ is an absolute phenom. He's a miracle.
He is a phenom, man.
It's really nothing. It's like nothing we've ever seen here before on the basketball court.
Also, just
Just every day is a gift. And I get to hang out with you guys. Talk about the Lawnmower 4.0.
That's awesome.
And
bro.
buy the shirt.
Buy the shirt. That's showtime. I'm telling you, the kid, because it's almost
Together.
dismissive to call him the kid, but the kid, man, he's blooming, blossoming right before our
I
eyes.
blew it, guys. I forgot to. The tweet, it's his time. It's showtime. Monte Morris tonight on Michael Porter Jr. It's his time. Mr. Nugget's back, and he's helping us move some merch already.
Monte,
What
Mr.
a
Nugget.
line from Mr. Nugget.
Mr. Marketing.
We're going to send Mr. Nugget a shirt. Get at us, Monte, if you want one. We got one. We have a shirt
Also,
for Monte. We
approve
just
the one that I did
move
of
the
you.
shirt
So
that
we
we've
will
asked you
give
to
you a
approve. We want to make a shirt for you, Monte, please. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Nuggets back-to-back Thursday, Friday. So we're going to have a day off. Well, actually, we'll have the DNVR Nuggets podcast. You can listen to that. But then we're back for a back-to-back.
Yep.
Can't wait for it. See you, everybody. Adios.